back to Daytime, everyone. Angela Dacey is here, as always, and we're continuing to talk about our color of the month, which is the lovely color violet.
Yeah.
Right, Angela?
Yes, it is.
Well, we always know because she's wearing the color on her shirt and her eyes.
Her eyes.
Or are my glasses violet?
Well, they're kind of a purple tint. I got to tell you, though, so I have a violet shirt, and every time I wear it, I get compliments on it, and I always say, well, Angela Dacey says it's the highest radiating color, and therefore it makes me a better person. True or false?
Sure, true.
Yes.
Yay.
Yay.
Which I did see that you wore that gorgeous shirt yesterday, and I was thinking, why isn't he wearing it on Wednesday? But
well,
that's
we were
okay.
also pole dancing, so
yeah,
he had to wear it on the... Yes.
Yes, I did see the creativity was at a height for you. It was very good.
Oh, gosh. So I mean, explain that. Jeff said, where did you use it?
It's the highest radiating
Radiating.
color.
Is it vibrating? Like we all have these auras around us, or
well, that's
frequencies?
definitely too. But yeah, if you actually measure color has frequency. So reds vibrate low and warm up to the violets, which are really fast and cool. So what happens is it connects with our energy centers. And we have an energy center that sits right on the top of our head, the crown, and it actually has the same frequency as the color violet. So we actually are walking rainbows. It's pretty wild. But that being said, it's a very high frequency color, and it can connect us to our spiritual well-being, which is really wild.
And I wore it last night because I was presenting, and I wanted to make sure I had a high frequency color. But there's another part of violet, and it's sort of getting out of that denial aspect of your life, because so many people walk around daydreaming and refusing to actually see what's going on in their life.
Totally. With that high frequency, what happens is that we can get lost in that energy. If reality hurts, if it's traumatic, I mean, we go through stuff, it's life, right? But sometimes it's worse for others than it is for us. And what ends up happening is we can go into an escape mechanism, and we float up into this top chakra or energy center. And it's where you'll see a lot of people daydreaming and having, you know, fantasy and going off into Lululand for a bit. But if we're denying our physical existence, if we're forgetting that we're here to live a mission, we can get lost in that energy. And that's where you find people that really end up in addictions, that could really end up with not wanting to be here and just wanting to be elsewhere, so that when life hurts too much, they'll look to, you know, alcohol, they'll look to drugs, they'll look to sex, they'll look to gambling, and it ends up causing a lot of trouble. So I was thinking of that show, Intervention.
Yeah.
Right? Where it's like almost you have to have everybody around you bringing you back down to earth and smacking you in the face saying, wake up, you're here, you need to live.
Yeah.
Because they're so far gone into the fantasy world, they don't really understand they need to come into the physical. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I mean, so that is an instance where you've got too much of one category?
Completely. So what happens is you almost have too much energy, okay, in that one area.
Okay.
Make it simple. Let's simplify it.
And that's why you gear everything, you put all your energy into, like you said, gambling, sex, drugs, alcohol.
Yeah, because you're focused in one area. So I always like to teach there's 4 areas of wellness. There's the physical, the mental, the emotional, the spiritual. So if you are focused in one area and you're like lacking the other 3, there's an imbalance, right? It's just like saying if you're all physical and jock and caveman and you know, you're going out there and you're forgetting that there's also the mental, emotional, spiritual. That's not healthy. So it's all about finding that balance. So if you have too much of that top chakra violet energy, what actually can happen, it doesn't mean you're sitting in a violet bedroom every day and you're staring at colored walls. I mean, we use color as the tool to teach, but it really says, you know what, where am I sitting in denial and where do I need to get back into reality?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can have too much of a good thing.
With the 4 pillars, what I believe tends to happen is you sort of dominate in maybe 2, and they're doing really, really well. And this third guy, yeah, he's okay, but the 4th one is just collapsed. And it's probably not until it's almost at the point of just total debacle that you realize it is falling apart, right?
Actually, Jeff and I were talking about this morning. You know, certain people put all of their effort into careers.
Yes.
But then they fall short on maybe their relationships, and you know, as they get older, they have this wonderful career, but might not have a family behind them. Can that happen as well?
Oh, exactly. They're just focused in one area more than another.
Yeah.
And it is all really about balance. People laugh saying, can you find balance? You know, balance harmoniously across the board is a tough thing that we're all searching for. But if we're aware, then that's half the battle. So if we could take a look and saying, okay, you know what, where have I focused my attention? It's been on my career the last 10 years. You know, and I've neglected family or my spouse or whatever is happening. You can start to say, okay, I need more playtime, I need more connection time. Maybe you forgot how to communicate. It's, you know, and I saw the girls on yesterday talking about the intimacy retreat and bringing connection back. Well, we get so lost into one particular area, we forget that there's other areas to focus on. So
Okay, good to know.
yeah.
Is there a yang to your yin on the denial aspect with Violet?
For sure. Okay, so let's go the other way. We just talked if they had too much energy. Let's say someone doesn't have enough.
Too little.
Then they could be neglecting their spiritual center. And what could happen is they really need to bring in a sense of belief and some form of faith. And again, that can be whatever works for you. But sometimes we need to let go of control. And we need to say, okay, we're not always in control in this life, help. And as soon as we surrender and release, we'll find that maybe we're guided in a way we didn't expect. That's where you want to bring in the energy because it's not enough. So if someone's weak in that violet energy, it's really saying, you know what, we need to connect to a greater source. And sometimes we got to get over ourselves and let go a little bit.
Yeah, and
trust.
it's okay to ask for things, right?
Oh, yeah.
Tell us about how you ask the universe for certain things in life.
All the time. And we do, and we'll talk about this in May a little bit because I want to talk about self-worth in May with Pink. But what ends up happening is that we need to feel worthy to receive. And a lot of the times we've been brought up feeling that it's greedy to ask the universe for what you want, when really it's the other way around. I visualize this like huge support system up there going, okay, we're your cheerleaders, we're ready, what do you want? And they're like, oh, we're waiting, but she's not asking.
Sure, yeah.
So what ends up happening, as soon as we ask, we release free will and we allow them to help. So I ask for everything from parking spots to direction and careers to, if I'm doing a keynote, I'll ask for the right words and to speak clearly. When I do that, I find I get more support and I'm more guided than if I don't.
Interesting.
I like that
you just have to ask.
Yeah.
Now, going back to the balance aspects, I think sometimes people have messes, and they're always trying to move forward in life, but they have these messes that are all around them, emotional, mental, whatever they are.
Yeah.
Is it also symbolic to sort of go back and start tidying up those messes before they get ready to try to take that next step?
Oh, completely. I mean, I think our journey here is really to overcome some pretty negative stuff so that we can actually learn from it and have the lessons. And, it's interesting because one of the things I like to say is that, you clear your clear your crap, you clear your channels. And the more we get rid of negative thoughts and feelings, the more light that comes in, the more health that comes in on all levels. The clearer our channels are, the healthier we are, but then at the same time, the clearer our channels.
Right.
So everybody has intuition, everybody can connect, nobody is more special than another. It's just that the more you work on releasing negative, well, then we've just allowed positive to come through. So I think it's a mandatory thing when you're sitting in mess to take a look at it and say, what can I do to heal this? So that we're not sitting around with that dis-ease in the body.
For sure. When it comes to denial, can we use the color violet to help take a look at what we're in denial about?
Guaranteed. I'd want to take a look at if you have too much. If you have too much violet, that's when we want to work on some of the other colors. I'd want to bring you down into the blues or the greens and focus on that. If you need the belief, let's bring violet in to strengthen it. So I'd want to take a look on where you're at. Once you understand your thoughts and feelings wrapped around color, you'll know what to do and how to use it.
What are some of the things that you find? I mean, you meet with people all the time about this. What are people in denial the most about in their life?
Oh boy, it's so different for everyone. It could be denial in the relationships, denial that they have a responsibility and accountability for what's happening. Relationships are huge. Definitely, I'm going to say responsibility and accountability. They want to blame, and they want to send it out to everyone else instead of saying, what piece of the puzzle do I play in this? It's so much easier to point the finger than it is to say, I own a piece of this and I need to fix it. So a lot of people will deny.
Every time you point a finger, 3 point back. Now, we should point out that you have a workshop coming up.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, yeah,
What's going on? What's taking place?
Okay, so my first level, Detox Your Thoughts, I have it 3 times a year. So the next one, the spring date, is May 15th. It's on Saturday. It's going to be at the Delta Inn in Markham. It's a pay what you can. It's just a $45 minimum fee, and you get me for 8 hours. So
Nice.
It's a long time.
all the info you need to really understand which thought and feeling sits where in your body, why is it there, and I give you therapies to help heal that so that we get rid of the negative and bring in the positive. So yeah, come on out and start the process. It's a huge awareness course.
Who do you want to see come out to this event? I mean, is it geared towards someone in particular?
You just have to be ready. You have to be ready to do the work and take responsibility and accountability. When you're ready to say, okay, this is my stuff and I need to heal it, then be ready. And then just come and see what happens. And if you learn one thing from the day, that's so powerful. But if you can learn more, then great. But it's just a matter of being open. And you'll have fun with it because it's with color and scents and music. And I use lots of fun things, so it's not so heavy. Because sometimes calling up that negative stuff's not always fun. But we have a good time with it. So
thank you, Angela.
Thank you.
The website for more information is angeladacey.com. You can sign up there. And at the end of the show, we're giving away an actual pass to go to this event, to go to the workshop. We'll be right back with more on Daytime.